This video is going to be very dead serious because we have to talk about how Nintendo likes to threaten YouTubers. And I hope you'll watch all of this even if it's not a typical topic that we cover on this channel. What's up gamers, DreamcastGuy here, but today I'm coming to you as Max, the real person, not the character Dreamcast guy, not the typical game reviewer I am, but instead as a person that just gets nervous when I see a company trying to silence the things they don't like people to say. Now this is about my friend RGT85, also known as Sean. Sean is dealing with some very stupid legal BS just going on over at Nintendo. He published a video just a bit ago, and I talked about him last night before he posted it, and it's a bit of a mess. So what ended up happening is, obviously it's been a month, but we all enjoyed Metroid Dread. Before Metroid Dread actually came out, Sean was just lucky enough to get a copy of the game in the mail early. He bought it, it's his own cash, they shipped it to him, and it arrived about 3 days before launch. Since he had it early, he beat the game, he recorded a bunch of footage, and he published a review of the game. Now, this is all pretty standard so far, right? It's just a person playing the game and talking about their opinions. Well, for some reason, Nintendo is now sending lawyers after RGT85 to try and take down his video. In fact, they've now sent tons of requests back to back to YouTube saying they have to take down that video. They have to forcibly remove his review of the game because apparently they think it somehow infringes copyright, even though it is a legal copy of the game that he purchased. Now, so far, Nintendo has actually been unsuccessful. The video is still up. But Sean is obviously nervous. A team of lawyers suddenly beating down your door and saying, hey, take down the video that you made, it's going to make anybody start to sweat bullets. And so because of it, he might have to do this. He might have to remove the video about a game that he purchased. Now here's what's going on that makes this a bit more of a murky thing, and I think it's where a lot of the confusion about this topic sort of surrounds. If you're a YouTuber, a lot of YouTubers do in fact get games early just on our own. Like this is obviously Shin Megami Tensei 5. I actually am not allowed to press the A button and show you this game because this is under what's called embargo. So whenever you get a game, 3 weeks early, a month early or whatever, from the publisher, from the people who are making the game itself, they make you sign a contract officially saying, I won't talk about it until the game is out or until a particular date. That's why sometimes you'll see whenever a game has an embargo of 2 weeks before launch or something, that's when all the reviews show up simultaneously. Now this is very good for everybody. Embargoes basically give people enough time to beat the game, to make a comprehensive review, and essentially tell you if it is worth your money before the game is actually out. Well, this is not an embargo situation because Sean actually purchased it himself and he put out his review after the typical embargo anyways, which means that by all accounts, Sean, RGT85, obeyed every single law to the T, and he's still getting screwed over. Now, if you actually see these emails, these are some screenshots that Sean sent me. I'm cropping them so you don't see all the lawyers' names and stuff, but this is in fact a real, totally valid legal threat that they're trying to take him down for talking about a game because he published his video 2 days before the game came out. Now what's crazy about this is that Nintendo likes to do this whenever they can. If they feel like you are putting up a video that they feel like they might be able to have some sort of copyright infringement about, they will always forcibly take your videos down. Here's one that happened just a couple years ago. This is my good friend Modern Vintage Gamer. He basically made a thing where he was talking about different ways to go into the Nintendo Switch and check out all the hidden features of it. It's called Switch Homebrew. He hacked his own Switch because he is an official freaking developer for Nintendo Switch games, and he used his programming skills to go in there and actually just show off different hidden features. And guess what? The Nintendo lawyers came in fast and hard, and they completely silenced him instantly. This video got copyright blocked. It is impossible to watch this video anywhere in the entire world, which is ridiculous because, again, this is him making content just talking about the console. It's not like he was showing you how to bootleg games. He was not showing you anything particularly illegal. He wasn't showing you how to put, freaking meth cooked on your freaking Switch. He was just showing you features that you could do by programming the system that you bought. Here's why this frustrates me, is because Nintendo is one of those companies that definitely gets defended the hardest. And it kind of blows my mind sometimes because Nintendo is definitely the corporation that loves to stomp on people the hardest. I mean, I certainly consider myself to be a big fan of things like Zelda, and I'm a gigantic nut for things like Splatoon 2, but it annoys me that this company just tries to stomp on people at every single opportunity if they even think that you might be doing something wrong. These lawyers constantly try and just shut people up. And what annoys me about this is the fact that they do this by even just enforcing these light threats against their own Nintendo brand ambassadors. So here's a little top secret information. I'm going to tell you something now because I am no longer part of the ambassador program. Alright, so we need to break something down real quick, which is the reviewing process, which is that for normal companies, whether it be Sony, Microsoft, third-party people like Activision making Call of Duty and stuff like that, what happens is that when you talk to them, they say, okay, agree to the embargo and we'll send you a copy of the game. You know, I've mentioned that before. You stick to the embargo, you obey the rules, which typically are just don't show the final cutscene. Super easy peasy. Most companies, completely normal business as usual. Like every bit of the stipulation and guidelines completely makes sense. Nintendo, if you want to review Nintendo games, if you want to actually officially cover stuff being made by the big N, well, guess what? You have to actually fill out a series of legal documents and sign a contract basically saying this very, very strict set of rules you have to obey in every single Nintendo Switch video. Now, I want to make it clear, you are allowed to give bad review scores. This isn't some sort of like give everything a 9 out of 10, but they have these incredibly stupid sets of guidelines that are baked into it. Like, here's one that specifically exists in the Nintendo contract. It is illegal. If you're a Nintendo Switch brand ambassador, you can't do weird things like I'm not allowed to show a picture of Mario smoking a cigarette. As silly as this is, it is an actual guideline that you have to stick to if you want to be a Nintendo brand ambassador in order to keep their like constant support. Like, you have to just stick to these weird gigantic list of demands or else they can legally come after you and instantly cut off your access. That's why, like, no hate to any of my friends who currently are Nintendo brand ambassadors, but notice that those people are extra smiley. They have to be extra good. They have to be extra clean and cut, because if you manage to overstep that gigantic line, well, guess what? You lose all access forever. I get frustrated by this because I feel like companies only try and silence you to get their way. If our GT85 was doing something crazy like published some straight up misinformation, it was leaking out fake investor reports or something that was actually tanking the company's stock, I could understand legal threats about that. You know, at least that feels like an important non-arbitrary agreement that's going on or something. But the fact that they're trying to remove a freaking game after embargo, like this video was posted a month ago and they still are sending emails to try and take it down. They're still threatening YouTube. Oh God, I'm so frustrated about this. They're still threatening YouTube. They have sent multiple attempted copyright strikes to try and take Sean down. And thankfully, YouTube keeps bouncing them off because this is in fact fair use. But they're just going to keep attempting it, because eventually it only takes that one freaking spear to get through your armor and it's all over. Now, I've dealt with this myself, but in my circumstance, I did buckle under the pressure. Last year, I managed to get an early copy of Cyberpunk 2077 just shipped to me by accident. I played it, I enjoyed it, and I started just posting some stuff very cryptically here and there talking about my first playthrough of the game before I published my review. Well, I ended up making a video where I just sat on camera like this and talked about what I thought about the game. I showed zero gameplay. I did not have any special, like, crazy freaking spoilers. It was just me sitting here talking to the subscribers. And I got a threat from freaking lawyers for CD Projekt Red. This is their actual thing. I'm trying to just, show this in a way that doesn't reveal too much of their stuff. But look, this information is considered a trade secret of CD Projekt Red. We hope that we can resolve this issue without further escalation. They literally have this signed. It's the lawyer's name. They're literally threatened me for talking about the game, for mentioning side quests, for talking in the loosest concepts. They threatened me with legal action. And I'll be honest, I was scared of it. I don't want to get sued by some gigantic billionaire Polish assholes, And this is what Nintendo definitely tries to do. They stomp out people and screw them over anytime they can. The reason I'm making this video is two separate things. First and foremost, to shine light on the fact that my very good friend Sean is being screwed over for absolutely no reason. He obeyed the rules. He stuck to the embargo, even though he didn't have to. He just published his video after everybody else talking about a game that he legitimately liked. And the other reason I'm saying this is that I really wish more people would start to think of these companies as the companies they are and less as friends. Even if you enjoy Nintendo games, even if you enjoy Sony stuff, or you happen to be a big fan of Xbox and what Phil Spencer is doing, don't defend these corporations when they're screwing over gamers. Sometimes it's tempting to say, well, you just screwed up. Sean's just bought the game early. He should have kept his mouth shut. Don't defend these companies silencing the people that they don't like, because you know what? You could be next. All right, these are just some off-the-cuff thoughts because honestly, I am just annoyed about it. What do you guys think? Please share this video, like it, go watch Sean's video. I'm going to link his down below in the comment section or in the description box. I don't know. This is just a giant mess, and I don't think it's going to get better. I do think it's honestly going to get worse. Thanks so much for watching, gamers. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a gigantic thumbs up, share with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. But do me the biggest favor of all, and keep dreaming. All right, I'm going to get back to playing some Nintendo games. Hope I don't get sued. Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.